Hi everybody, welcome back to Equipment World. I'm your host Brian, and today we're here to talk about some exciting things happening over at New Holland. You may traditionally have known New Holland as the ag guys, but New Holland's really starting to make a move into the standard regular construction market. And here to talk with us about it today is Brian. So I'm gonna just kind of get the elephant in the room question out there. So traditionally, New Holland has really been known as an ag brand. It's the guy that, you know, when he's gonna move some hay bales around at the farm, he's gonna go to the New Holland dealer. What are you guys doing to kind of position yourself to be more of a well-rounded construction equipment brand?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to address that and to have that discussion, because for sure our roots are in the agricultural business. It was only about 12 to 15 months ago that the construction business of CNH Industrial took responsibility for New Holland. And boy, the opportunities for us have been huge. We like to look at it as we're coming out of the ag umbrella, but we're really kind of establishing, and ag needs to remain a core pillar of what we do, but not the only thing that we do. And so when you look at the portfolio changes that we're making, the expansion of product that kind of bring us into other non-traditional, non-agricultural segments. You look at the technology that we're adding into our machines. You look at the investments that we're making across our dealer channel. I think there's a lot of different things that we're doing to really establish ourselves as that full compact line construction equipment player in the market.
And just another note, I think a lot of people in the industry don't really realize how tied you are to the Case brand.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know it is because I sold Case for a long time. But there's really not any difference between a Case machine and a New Holland machine outside of the paint scheme.
Yeah, there's a couple of models and there's a couple of product lines that one brand has that the other doesn't have. But really, for us, the importance and the relevance for New Holland is the backing of CNH Industrial, and the machine that supports the Case Construction brand is the same that supports the New Holland brand. And that's going to be kind of a big part of the tool that brings us forward into these kind of areas that, non-traditional spaces that we're talking about going after. So whether it's, our parts and service capabilities, our CNH Capital organization, all of these different tools and resources that have helped build the brands into what they are today will continue to be call it the backdrop and the foundation by which we're going to build our growth on the New Holland construction side.
So you mentioned technology. What sort of technology components are you guys bringing to the workplace to kind of help these contractors as you move into the construction space?
Yeah, no, that couldn't be more of an opportune time to answer this, because we are, Equip-Expo this year, we deployed our new machine control solution. So I think most of our the people that will be watching this are aware that, CNH acquired Hemisphere machine control organization. And so certainly you've taken some time to kind of figure out what that roadmap is for New Holland Construction brand, and how do we bring intuitive innovation to the New Holland Construction customer base. This brand is not, and really doesn't intend to be, kind of bleeding edge technology player in the market first too, but it's how do we take things that are very recognized in the marketplace in certain capacities, and how do we adapt them and tailor them to meet the needs of our customer base. So the best example I can give you is we've rolled out our 2D guidance system for machine control directly from Hemisphere. We still have the same, partnership with Leica, the same growth that we've been doing all these years, but really Hemisphere now gives us a kind of an entry point for customers who have been a little bit apprehensive to go into the machine control space, whether it's the complexity, whether it's the size of the equipment, whether it's the cost profile to add a system into a machine. Hemisphere 2D is really that kind of core basic guidance, machine control, kind of grade control, digging a trench, and kind of mitigating the need for that guy standing in the field or in the hole with the pole to manage depth. This gives them the opportunity to kind of support those kinds of needs on the job site. And really that's where we see kind of the entry point for New Holland Construction into technology from a machine control perspective. Tack onto that now, this year we're rolling out standard telematics, which are all managed and supported by our myNewHollandConstruction app, which we just rolled out this year. And now we have it's a suite of solutions tailor-made for the New Holland Construction customer that are going to help them be more efficient, more productive, and more profitable on the job site.
Yeah, it's interesting. You talk about the incorporation of Hemisphere. For a lot of people who may not know, Hemisphere was one of those kind of independent parties that was in the marketplace. And one of the things I think they did extremely well was keeping the interface very user friendly. And especially as you talk about, the segment of the market that you guys will be approaching, it's going to be a lot of those smaller contractors that probably don't have experience with machine control of any variety. And so it's still this very daunting thing it's scary, it's different, it's expensive. And I do love that Hemisphere has been able to kind of step into that space, and with you guys now owning Hemisphere, to be able to bring that technology at an affordable rate and keep it user friendly for the guy in the seat that's just getting his feet wet for machine control. I think that's such an awesome option.
Yeah, it really is kind of fundamental to who we are as a brand. We're trying to build solutions for customers, but we're also trying to build simplicity. We're trying to eliminate some of the complexity of doing business as an organization, our customers, on their job sites. And so for us, like I said, the Hemisphere portfolio and what they have to offer and kind of the initial integrations that we've been able to work through with them have been pivotal to where we want to go as a brand. So absolutely, it's something that, is available now. I think a big part now, as well as talking to customers about what we're doing, is engaging our dealers, right? Certainly we share a lot of common dealers with our agriculture and our construction side of the business. And so from a machine guidance, those types of things, those may be a little bit more readily available on the ag side of the business right now as well. So we're not starting from scratch. We've got a base to build off of and a customer base who kind of know the market, but really, like to your point, haven't dove in head first for whatever reason. And now we've given them an opportunity to start to kind of dip their toe in the water and understand what it is that these solutions can offer them and how they could be more productive.
Yeah. So to clarify a little bit more on your machine control offerings, you mentioned that you've got Hemisphere now, but you also still have the partnership with Leica. So is Hemisphere able to provide a 3D solution as well, or do you have to step up to a Leica system, or is it really just you have the option of whether you want to go Hemisphere or Leica? How does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, for the Leica portfolio, whether it's 2D or 3D, continues to be available. And there's absolutely a customer base on both the case and the New Holland Construction side that are going to be relevant for that product portfolio. I think from our side, again, it's because, at the end of the day, what we want to provide is a single, simple solution. And so where I see kind of, like I said, those dealers, those customers who haven't engaged, I really see that more kind of leaning towards the Hemisphere solution, just for what we have already talked about. But again, we have a lot of customers who are very experienced, who've been using this kind of technology for a long time, and now they've got a choice. And so the choice could be based on, job application. It could be based on, the machine profile of, what machines are on the job site, whether it's a big excavator, dozer, grader, or whether it's a mini excavator. So I think there's going to be a solution for all. It's just about being able to plug and play to support that contractor's need.
And again, one of the big advantages, as a lot of guys in the industry that are just getting into this don't realize, is there's a huge cost advantage because, those big players like a Topcon Trimble, they really have a big price tag associated with them. And some of these third-party vendors that are starting to come out are starting to put options into the hands of contractors that are far more affordable. And it's really going to be a good solution for those small guys.
Absolutely. I think when a contractor starts to compare the technology available versus the job that needs to be done on the job site and who or what was doing that job prior, all of a sudden these kind of solutions provide more efficiency, more productivity, and like I said before, at the end, more profitability, which is why, everybody's doing what they're doing and at least our focus is if we can make our contractors and our customer base more profitable doing what they're doing, that's how we create loyalty within the network.
So my final question for you is a two-parter. The first is, what of your lineup is going to be available to be seen at CONEXPO? And then also, is there any way for people to check out the Hemisphere ecosystem at CONEXPO?
Two great questions. I could not be more excited for the display we're preparing at CONEXPO. It's honestly, at this point, it's October. We're already designing, developing, planning our booth. We'll have, between 15 and 18 machines representing the full portfolio of product that we have at CONEXPO. On the show floor, we'll have a representative sample of our electric portfolio. We'll have our new D-series mini excavators, midi excavators up to, 9 and 10 ton. We'll have our mini track loaders, small articulated loaders. I mean, we've now expanded the portfolio to 10 product lines, and we'll have a representative sample of all 10 of those products that we have there, including a couple of machines that are set up with our 2D machine control Hemisphere solution. And the neat thing that we've been able to do is we've been able to create kind of demonstration kiosks of what the machine control can do for an operator. We just deployed it, as I mentioned before, at Equipment Expo in Louisville. And that's given operators and contractors who haven't really seen it before the opportunity to, in a very simple, safe, non-destructive on the job site way, really test the capabilities of a solution like this. And so really our objective in 2026 CONEXPO is to really come out as this kind of full compact line, CE, landscape, agriculture focused player in the marketplace. And so for sure, we're going to have all the machines, all the tools, all the resources, and all the expertise there to engage and discuss that vision with our customers.
Well, and you mentioning the 9 and 10 ton machine in particular really kind of is just another standout to, New Holland is not this ag brand that's really going to be geared towards the farm machines. I mean, you guys have a full product offering up to a 10-ton machine, and that's not a small excavator. You can get a lot done with those machines.
No, absolutely not. And, again, the other thing that we're seeing is that the machines we do historically have offered to that ag space, they're used across the construction landscape, right? Whether it's a land clearing job site, whether it's a utility application, like whatever application that we're talking about, these machines are used. And so our dealers, our customers, really come from a certain side of the business, and that's great. And like I said, we're not by any means planning to go away from that or make that any less of a focus than what it's been. But on the same side, by opening up the eyes of our dealers to say, hey, as you drive up and down those farm roads, you pass 3 or 4 landscape contractors, you pass that residential site where, work is being done, machines are being used. And instead of driving by, why don't you stop there, talk to the customers, build a relationship because they're buying what you're already selling. And so absolutely, our intention is to go bigger. I don't see us really being in the, large 35-ton excavator space anytime in the near future. But,
Sure.
Certainly our focal point and our portfolio strategy will be built around our customers and, the customers that we want to go after in the marketplace and making sure that we're providing a good, unique, value proposition to those customers.
Well, that's exciting. There's a lot going on over there at New Holland, and I am excited to see the booth and excited to see the product offering. Thank you for your time, Brian.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you again for Brian coming on the show to talk to us about the exciting new moves happening at New Holland. As always, I hope this helps you in your business and gives you just a little bit more wisdom than you had before the episode, and we'll catch you guys next time.